All right, let's dive into a topic that's really essential today, getting a handle on data specialist interviews.
Absolutely.
Like whether you're prepping for one yourself or maybe you're the one hiring, knowing what really counts is key.
It really is. Data specialists, they're kind of the linchpin. They turn all then raw data companies gather into, well, actual strategy.
They bridge that gap.
Exactly. And finding the right questions, that's like the shortcut to finding someone who can genuinely do the job, not just uh, talk about it.
And that's really our mission today. We're looking at an article from Kaplan, 6 data specialist interview questions. We'll use that as a base to sort of unpack the core skills.
Yeah, this deep dive, we'll walk through those 6 questions.
Yeah.
But more than just listing them, we'll get into what's behind them.
Right. What do they actually reveal?
Exactly. About technical skill, sure, but also problem solving, how they think, and if they can keep up with how fast things change in data.
So consider this your essential guide, really. Whether you're asking or answering, let's get into it.
Okay, let's see what these questions from Kaplan help uncover.
Okay, first up from the article. This one hits on something pretty fundamental, just the sheer size of data we're dealing with now.
Right. Question 1. Can you describe your experience working with large data sets?
Seems simple, but when data is measured in terabytes, petabytes, why focus specifically on large sets? What does that tell you?
Well, because scale changes everything. Handling huge data sets brings up completely different problems than smaller ones.
Like performance.
Likely. Memory limits, processing time, needing really optimized code. It tells you if they
Ah,
get that. It's not just knowing SQL, it's knowing SQL that won't, grind to a halt on a billion rows.
got it. And the Kaplan article, it mentions specific things a good answer should have, not just X years experience, but things like industries, finance, healthcare, retail. Why does that matter?
Because different industries mean different kinds of large data. Think time series in finance, complex patient stuff in healthcare, endless transactions in retail.
Ah, so it shows real world variety.
Yeah, exposure to different contexts where large data is just the reality, not just theory.
And the tools mentioned, SQL, Python, R, Excel, the usual suspects.
Pretty much the workhorses, yes.
Yeah.
Listing them is one thing, but discussing how they use them, especially Python and R for coding complex analysis or automation at scale, that's key.
Right. And the article also flags creating and maintaining data pipelines
Those automated workflows that move and clean data, super important.
and implementing data governance and security. That seems critical with large, possibly sensitive data.
Non-negotiable. You
Yeah.
have to understand how to manage access, ensure quality, protect the data, especially when it's massive.
Okay, so question one is really like a foundational check. Can you handle the modern data environment? The scale, the plumbing, the safety.
Precisely. It probes their practical skills and if they grasp the operational side of things.
Okay, so once you have the data under control, you need to, well, make sense of it and get other people to understand it too.
Which, yeah, leads right into question 2. Can you describe your experience with data visualization and reporting?
Why is this translation piece turning numbers into charts and reports so vital for someone who might seem purely technical?
Because data itself, or even a complex model, it's often useless to the people making decisions if they can't quickly see the point.
So the data specialist needs to be a communicator.
A translator, really. Taking technical stuff and making it clear for, everyone from other analysts right up to the execs.
And the article highlights interactive visualizations. That's more than just a static pie chart, right?
Oh yeah, interactive dashboards, say in Tableau or Power BI, maybe even clever Excel stuff. Let people click around, explore the data themselves. It builds understanding, trust, shows you're thinking about the user.
And it mentions a strong understanding of data visualization best practices. What's that trying to catch? What are common mistakes?
Things like overly busy charts or using chart types that are actually misleading, the classic 3D pie chart issue.
Ah, right.
Knowing the tools is one thing, but do they know when a bar chart is better than a line? Are the colors confusing? Best practices mean the visuals are clear, accurate, and tell the story effectively, not distort it.
So clarity and impact, making sure insights actually land with different audiences.
Exactly. It's the bridge from finding something interesting to actually doing something about it.
Okay, so we've gone from handling data to showing it. Now, the next question seems to push into, well, predicting the future almost.
Yeah, getting into predictive capabilities. Question 3 is, can you describe your experience with data modeling and machine learning?
This feels like where things get really advanced for a lot of companies. What's proficiency here? Signal.
It signals they can go beyond just describing what happened.
Right. Beyond basic reporting.
Yeah, into predicting what might happen or even recommending what actions to take. It's about finding those deeper patterns, building models that forecast, classify, recommend.
And the answer pointers. They list specific techniques. Linear and logistic regression, decision trees, clustering. These aren't just buzzwords.
No, definitely not. They're core methods for different problems. Regression for predicting numbers, logistic or trees for predicting categories, clustering for finding groups. Knowing these shows they have the right analytical tool for the job.
And then the libraries. Scikit-learn, TensorFlow, Keras. In simple terms, what are these?
Think of them as coding toolkits, mostly in Python, for building these models efficiently. Scikit-learn is great for general stuff. TensorFlow and Keras are heavy hitters for deep learning neural networks.
So listing those confirms actual hands-on coding experience.
Right, and the article stresses experience building, tuning, and critically deploying models.
Getting them out of the lab.
Exactly, into the real world, and applying them to actual business problems like the examples given. Predicting customer churn, figuring out lifetime value, spotting fraud. It shows it's not just theory, it's practical, impactful data science.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit, because working with data, it's not always smooth sailing, is it? The next question tackles challenges and how you handle them.
Right, this is a classic behavioral question. Can you describe a particularly challenging data project you've worked on and how you overcame it?
Why ask this in what seems like a very technical interview?
Because, well, the tech skills are only half the battle. Data projects always hit bumps. Messy data, weird results, scope creep, tech failures.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. So this question reveals how they think on their feet, if they stick with problems, and their actual process for figuring things out and fixing them.
The Kaplan article uses a healthcare example. What makes that scenario challenging?
Well, healthcare data is usually super sensitive, right?
Yeah.
So immediately you've got security and compliance hurdles. Plus, it's often stuck in different systems, different formats.
Ah, the data integration nightmare.
Exactly. A classic, tough data cleaning and prep challenge.
So what should a good answer focus on when describing how they overcame these things?
Like the article suggests, having a solid data governance plan is key for sensitive data. Using advanced cleaning techniques shows technical chops, but also, really importantly, collaborating.
Ah, working with others.
Yes, data problems rarely get solved alone. You need to work with the business side, IT, maybe legal, whoever has a piece of the puzzle.
So overcoming challenges isn't just about being technically smart, it's about teamwork too. And I like the phrase fit for purpose, ensuring the data, despite its initial messiness, became reliable for the job at hand.
It's a great phrase. Shows they get the end goal. Usable, trustworthy data for analysis, not just cleaning for the sake of it.
And speaking of trustworthy data, the foundation of everything is quality, isn't it?
Which takes us neatly to question 5. How do you approach data quality and data validation?
If question 1 was about scale, this feels like it's about reliability. Why is having a systematic approach here just absolutely critical?
Because literally everything else, the visualizations, the models, the reports, rests on the data. If the data's garbage, well,
Garbage in, garbage out.
exactly. Flawed insights, bad decisions. This question probes how they proactively ensure the data is solid.
And the suggested answer points, they mention implementing a robust data governance plan. Again, see how that ties back.
Yes, it's connected. Governance isn't just security, it's also setting quality standards. The answer should also cover specifics like standardization rules, validation checks.
Making sure things are in the right format.
Right, and data profiling, analyzing the data to actually understand its structure, its issues. Plus ongoing quality checks, not just a one-off thing.
It also mentions working with cross-functional teams again here to make sure data meets business needs.
Yeah, because the tech team might not know what the data should look like in a business context. You need that input. And maintaining data lineage, knowing where data came from and what's happened to it, that's crucial for tracking down problems and just building confidence in the data.
So it's a continuous effort, really, a commitment to keeping the foundation strong.
Exactly. Shows they take the reliability seriously.
Okay, finally. The data world, it doesn't stand still. Tools, techniques, tech, it's always changing.
Which brings us perfectly to question 6. How do you stay current with the latest data trends and technologies?
Why is this question so revealing about someone's potential, maybe their long-term value?
Because what's cutting edge today could be, well, legacy tech tomorrow. This question gets at their curiosity, their initiative, their commitment to keep learning. In a field moving this fast, adaptability is just essential. It's not optional.
The suggested answer lists the usual things: reading publications, conferences, networking.
Yeah.
Those seem standard.
They are, and they're good. But the article also adds actively participating in online communities, like forums, GitHub, Kaggle maybe.
Getting involved.
Yeah. And, crucially, experimenting with new tools and tech in personal projects. That shows real, proactive, hands-on learning, not just doing what's required for the job.
It suggests genuine passion, right? Someone who takes ownership of their own development.
Precisely. It's a good sign they won't get left behind as the field keeps evolving.
Okay, so drawing from that Kaplan article, we've really dug into these 6 key areas, haven't we? Handling scale, visualizing effectively, using models and ML, navigating tough projects, ensuring data quality, and that commitment to always be learning.
Yeah, these questions, if you explore them properly, they give you a really solid framework. You can assess the technical skills, sure, but also the problem-solving approach, the adaptability. They look for real experience and thoughtful methods, not just, reciting buzzwords.
So whether you're the one interviewing or the one being interviewed, really understanding the depth behind these questions is absolutely essential in this data-driven world. It's about finding someone who can truly make an impact.
And, thinking about that last question, staying current, it brings up an interesting point for you, the listener, to think about. In a field where tech changes so fast, how do you weigh that deep foundational knowledge against, say, a proven ability and just sheer passion for constantly learning the next new thing? Where's the balance? Something to chew on.